Hello and welcome back. This is another episode in my marathon training series on my channel. Thank you for clicking and watching. And if you're new to this series, welcome for the first time. If you have seen episode 1, welcome back. And I will probably link to where you can find episode 1. It'll be in a playlist, all the things. But today's episode, I really want to talk about how training for this marathon and running has cured my perfectionism. And I feel like that is a big thing to say, that it is quote unquote cured. But I really believe that it has been. Of course, I'm sure that I will struggle from time to time because it takes, a lot to undo and unlearn a lot of behavior that is something you've done for years and years and years. But the reason that I have found that running, and particularly training for this marathon, has cured my perfectionism is because when I started running, which for fun, I guess, which was a couple years ago now, I kind of started running and taking up running postpartum. So this is around summer 2022. And on the one hand, I've been listening to the Rich Roll podcast since the pandemic, I think, at this point. So I like to say that I'm easily influenced because I kind of am. And so listening to so much Rich Roll, where he talks to a lot of endurance sports athletes, and he's also an endurance sports athlete, it was like, oh, of course I want to run. But I would say that it kind of fell off for a little bit, and I've wanted to get back into it as a habit. And I mentioned in the last episode that I work really well when I have a goal or something to anchor to, and that's what kind of sparked me deciding to train for a marathon. But when I first picked up running for fun, I was really pace focused. I remember my first run, I wanted to word to Atomic Habits start off really small. And so I was like, I can go out and run 10 minutes. And of course, I was running pretty quickly for that 10 minutes, like a pace that I could maintain, but a pretty quick pace. And I found that I could run about a mile. So every run thereafter became very much, how can I beat my last mile time for every run, which now I know that's not even how it works when you're training. But that was really my focus and goal. How can I get faster every single time? How can I run the fastest mile? And beyond pace, I definitely leapt to, okay, how can I, run across the United States? This is the level of perfectionism that I have. It's I can't just do something. It's oh, how do I become the first at that thing? Or how do I become the best at that thing? And if I can't do that, honestly, I just fall off or don't even see the point in doing it. And when I started running this time for this marathon, I really let go of all of that pace focus. And I think it's a huge testament as well to the Nike Run Club training app 18-week marathon training program, because it does speak a lot to, the pace doesn't matter. It's an effort that you can maintain. Easy pace just means, what is an easy pace for you? And so a real thank you and testament to that app for allowing me to let go of those preconceived notions that I had about when I run, I have to run the fastest. And if I'm not ready to die at the end of every run, then I didn't do a good job, or I didn't accomplish anything on that run, or it was pointless. So yeah, being able to let go of that pace focus has really allowed me to open up myself to gaining the benefits of running, and by benefits of running, I I mean, I could finally understand what people meant by running can be a meditation. And I could really be grateful for my body that it could run. Like all the things that are happening in your body, because it's a full body exercise and a mental exercise on top of that. And being able to run a mile, 5 miles. The max that I've run at this point is 18 miles. I plan on running 20 miles for my long run later on this week, which, by the way, you caught me right at the end of a run. I just did a 30-minute recovery run, so turned on the camera right after that. I don't know if you can see some sweat. It's kind of chilly outside, so maybe not. But yeah, I have really found so much gratitude toward running for allowing me to just enjoy the thing without it having to be tied to this big grand thing that I'm trying to accomplish. And to tie it to my creative practice and creating, perfectionism has really been the barrier for me to create. If it wasn't perfect the first time, I felt cringe. I didn't want to do it anymore. Every single creative project that I have done in the past has come with this huge amount of pressure that I put on myself and the thing to be the thing, to be my quote unquote big break, to be my grand opus, all of those things. And for one, it didn't allow myself grace to learn and progress in anything that I'm doing. But it also wasn't an engine that I was able to maintain. It usually made me feel bad about myself. And I think the worst thing is that it sucked the joy out of creating and doing the thing. Just like with running, when I was so pace focused, if I didn't beat my last mile time, I felt like a failure. It took the joy out of it. And of course, who wants to keep doing something when you feel bad after doing it every time? And so I'm also really grateful for this running practice and this training, for the ability for it to translate into my creative life and being able to create without worry of perfectionism, but just create whatever is on my heart at the time. That's what sparked this video in the first place. I don't know if you'll notice, but I don't have a lot of, or any fancy B-roll in this video, for example. I'm just sitting outside. It's a talking head video, so kind of very low barrier to entry, and usually this isn't something that I would want to do or put up. And it's because that I really love like cinematic vlogs, and I love cool shots, and I really want to grow that skill set for myself. But if it comes at the cost of preventing me from showing up consistently, and it just creates more room for resistance to come in, then it's not really serving me. Like, I'm always going to be learning, and I will create those short films that I want to create and those more cinematic content and vlogs that I want to create. But I can also show up, and this is creating right here. And it's so interesting because with episode 1, it was the first time that I posted a video and sat down and created a video in 2 years. And after I posted that video, it was like resistance best hits all came flooding through. Like, I was immediately consumed with how I need to make it better, or oh, that wasn't good enough, and just all of the thoughts that usually prevent me from showing up and creating and kind of steal the thunder under whatever inspiration I get, all came flooding in all at once, almost as soon as I posted the video. And because I've had this time and I've been reflecting a lot internally and building up my creative practice and my spiritual practice, it was like I could separate myself from it and just see how interesting it was that when I have completed the creation, all of the things, all of the limiting beliefs, all of the resistance, all of the things that make me not want to create just just came flooding at me. And it was just so interesting because I did it. I created the thing. And yet here are all of these kind of egoic, icky feelings coming up. But it was really cool to see those feelings, feel those feelings, and recognize that it's not me. It's not my creative practice. It's a part of it, but it's not a dictator of whether or not I show up, and it's not a dictator of whether or not I create. Whether I run at a 10-minute mile pace or a 15-minute mile pace, I still ran. I still did the thing. And whether I have super high-tech, cinematic, beautiful shots, or I'm just sitting in my backyard in nature, talking in front of a camera, I'm creating. I'm doing the thing. Perfection is never the goal. Creating is the goal. And I'm just, again, grateful for this current running journey for showing me that. So this is a shorter episode. Oh, and I also wanted to say that another reason that I am sitting in nature, particularly for this video, is because I find nature to be a really great teacher and reminder of these lessons as well. When it comes to perfectionism, nature doesn't strive to be perfect. A rose doesn't strive to be a perfect rose. It just is a rose. It is perfect as is because it is. And I think the same goes for ourselves at any given time. So just like this giant oak tree, just like these leaves that are falling right now, in order to make room for the new growth that'll come in just a few months, just like the flowers that have all died away and will bloom in the spring again, all in their perfect way, as will my creative practice, as will my running practice, and as will my life practice. So thank you for tuning in for episode 2, and I will see you for episode 3. Bye. Hello. I hope that doesn't get picked up, my AC thing. Oh God. Or I guess both AC things. I hope they're not picked up very much. Otherwise I'll have to reshoot. Either way, hello.